Hi YouTube, I'm Taylor, welcome to Ginger Next Door. So last week on my Instagram I did a vote to see which kind of a video you guys would like to see for today, and the one that you guys chose was the brow tutorial. I gave you the option between an in-depth brow tutorial and an Anastasia subculture palette tutorial. They came down to be very, very close, so the subculture palette will be my next video that will be going up on my channel on Tuesday, so make sure that you subscribe if you want to see that. With eyebrows, they are a very, very person-to-person, personal, in your spirit thing. Everybody likes their brows to be a little bit different because everyone's eyebrows are different. Sometimes even the eyebrows on your own face look like sisters and not twins. That's the best advice that anyone has ever given me when it comes to eyebrows, is that accepting that sometimes they are not going to be the exact same, as long as they are sisters and not like cousins or like next door neighbors, you're good. So if you are someone who has naturally really thick, gorgeous, luscious eyebrows, you might not necessarily love the way that I do mine. This is going to be for those of you who have a little bit more sparse eyebrows and struggle with them having little bald patches in there, because that's me. However, I will say that this is the best my eyebrows have ever looked and the fullest that they've looked because I've been taking my sugar bear hair vitamins, and I've noticed a really big change in my eyebrows since I started taking those. And then also usually my eyebrows are a lot lighter than they are right now. If you missed the video where I tinted them, you can check that out. I tinted my eyebrows recently using Just For Men beard dye, and it works like a freaking charm. So if you want to see how I did that, you can check out that video. But generally my eyebrows are very, very blonde, so it takes a lot of work to fill them in. If you are someone who has naturally really light eyebrows and you want a little bit of extra or something to wear on days when you don't want to do a full-on pencil brow, I recommend either the Gimme brow from Benefit or the Busy Gal brow. Why can't I never say that word? Because I talk too fast. The Busy Gal brow from Tarte. Those two products are basically a brow mascara. They do exactly what a mascara would for your lashes, but for your eyebrows, so you can actually see where they are. So basically the way I'm going to do this video is just show you how I quickly like to map my eyebrows, and then the way that I fill them in using a pencil. I don't think that I mentioned this while I was filming, but the pencil that I use is the Precisely My Brow from Benefit. That's been one of my favorites for a while now. I also really enjoy the, there's a Loreal one, I cannot remember what it's called. I think it's the Loreal Brow Definer. It's one of those really, really fine tip brow pencils, and then I also really like the ColourPop brow pencil that I mentioned a couple of videos back. So we're gonna clip to the next scene and my eyebrows are gonna be just naked. How inappropriate. Okay, so I'm just going to start by giving you a super, super basic rundown of brow mapping. This is not something that I do every single day, but I will once in a while when I feel like my brows kind of need a little bit of extra help. There are like a gazillion videos posted about brow mapping, so mine's just going to be super, super quick and basic. Like I said, brow mapping is not something that I do every single day, but it's something that I kind of have mentally in my head of where everything needs to go, so I'm just going to explain that really quickly. So basically, brow mapping is exactly what it sounds like. It's just creating a map to show you exactly where your brows need to be and what needs to be happening there. Brows should generally start if you go from the side of your nose all the way up to here. That is where the front of your brow should be. And of course, this is just a general idea. As always, it's your face. There are no rules. Do whatever you want. So front of the brow is going to be right by your side of your nose, and then to figure out where your arch should be, you're going to tilt the pencil and then basically just cut your eyeball right in half. And then basically you'll just make a little mark there to show you where your arch should be. This eyebrow happens to have a very, very sparse arch area, so I kind of have to really build mine up and make it have an arch. And then for your tail of your brow, you're going to go from the nose to the corner of your eye and up, and that is where your little tail will be. I always feel like a dork because there's this little freckle right here that's just slightly out from where I want the end of my brow to be, and I feel like it always looks like I just got something on my face, but I didn't. It's just a freckle. It's in a very inconvenient spot, but I literally can't do anything about it. Okay, so then once you have those three marks, that's basically your front, your arch, your tail. You'll just fill them in from there. This is kind of, like I said, the most basic, like not broken down at all brow mapping, but I like to keep mine really simple. Okay, next I'm going to zoom you in even more, and we're going to go through how I do my brows from there. And like I said, this isn't something that I do every single day. This is something that is more of just like a mental note for myself. Now I've done this so many times that I know exactly where my brow needs to be. So it's not something that I necessarily need to do every time, but when you're first filling in your brows and you're first trying to really get that shape down, this is a really good way to go. I would definitely recommend looking up other brow mapping videos because seriously, this is like the tip of the iceberg.
First thing I'm going to do is take the spoolie end of my Precisely My Brow brush and brush through my brow so I can make sure that everything is going the direction it should be. Next, I'm going to focus on the top of my brow. I like to draw the brow top line first to give myself that guide and then fill in the rest. And I'm just using that mental guide that I have of my brow mapping to create that top line and to create an arch. As you can see, my brows are very sparse through the arch area, so they need a lot of extra help to get the shape of an actual eyebrow. Next, to make sure that my tail is where I want it, I'm just using the edge of my eye as a guide, like I did in the brow mapping. And then once I'm happy with the length of my brows, I'm going to go back to the front of my brow and use the edge of my nose as a guide to figure out where my brow needs to start. Like I said, the front of my brow is so sparse, it needs extra work. And then starting at the very edge of where I want my brows to start, I'm working in small little strokes upwards to create some little lines that mimic actual brow hairs. I like to always work in short little strokes instead of one long line. That makes everything go a little bit easier and it looks a little bit more quote-unquote natural. Once I'm happy with the way that the front of the brows look, I'm just going to fill in the rest of my eyebrow starting at the bottom of my brow line and working in, again, short little strokes to fill in the rest of my brow. And I'm doing that from the front of my brow all the way to the tail. And I'm going to speed this up quite a bit because this gets very tedious to just stare at forever. And then once I get to the tail end, I also like to go back over my arch to build that up a little bit more and give it a little bit more shape, so I go over the top line again. Once I'm happy with the shape and color of my brows, I just take that spoolie again and brush the hairs upwards and over so that they all go to where they should be going, so they're not sticking out all over the place. And then I'm going to go ahead and do the other brow in super fast motion so you can see it one more time.
Okay, so that is it for this video. I hope that you found this somewhat informative or helpful in some way. Like I said, there are so many different ways to do eyebrows. It's kind of insane, the different products that you can use. So I would love to know your favorite tips and tricks in the comments. And if you did like this video, please make sure that you subscribe and follow me on Instagram and all that good stuff. I am going to be holding myself accountable to being on a set posting schedule of Tuesday and Saturday. So if you'd like to see 2 videos from me a week, please hit subscribe and I will see you in my next video. I'm gonna attempt to stand up because my feet are dead because I've been sitting on them. Goodbye.